Welcome back to Sports Talk with Dad. As always, my name is Kyle, and I cannot call this Sports Talk with Dad without the man sitting next to me, a man so old he now finds videos made for 3-year-olds unbelievably hilarious. My dad, Tim.
I do. The ones with Maximus whatever, and then the other one comes up, my name is Jeff. Yes,
No,
those are funny.
say it the way that it shows on the video.
I don't think I can.
He walks in today.
My name is Jeff.
That was bad. We should
bad.
have left it alone.
Told you.
He walks in today, dying laughing, and goes, "You have to watch this." And all it is the "My Name is Jeff" videos. And I was like, dude. And then, of course, after you see him like 30 times in a row, you start to find him funny. And I'm like,
exactly.
I'm so mad at you right now. But speaking of childish things, I have to ask you something because I'm getting really frustrated at the world specifically on this. My kids are huge Pokemon fans.
They are.
Absolutely huge Pokemon fans. And part of their reward system is we get them Pokemon cards. So if they get a good grade or they, do something extra around the house for chores that they didn't have to do, they get to pick out something nice. They always pick Pokemon cards.
That's what we did with your brother, and he had all of the original Pokemon cards. All of them were lost in the Midwestern floods.
All gone.
A few years ago. Yes.
That was 20 years ago.
That was your mom's fault because I kept all of my baseball cards in plastic and they were fine.
Yeah, it's mom's fault that flood happened. Makes sense to me. What was I talking about?
About the Pokemon
About the Pokemon cards. So the issue I'm having is I can't find Pokemon cards anywhere. There's this fad where people buy them out of stores. It's been going on for a while, but what made me think about this was when you were a kid, you had baseball cards, you had comic books, you had a lot of this same stuff we have now. Throughout my lifetime, they have been collectibles. And over the last really 5 years, it's gotten very, very out of control. We saw it once in the 90s with the Beanie Babies, and now they're worth nothing.
Baseball cards go up and down.
They do, but baseball cards, it's like specific baseball cards.
They weren't collectibles when I was a kid.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. So we see this in my lifetime. It's kids stuff, right? This is meant for kids, but yet adults are buying all of this for either a YouTube video where you open the package or they're reselling them. And it's ridiculous. It's ruining something meant for kids. Did you ever see that in your lifetime to the same capacity?
It hit about the time of Beanie Babies and the original Pokemon.
So the 90s. But it was never like this with the original Pokemon.
It got to be that way. I mean, baseball cards when I was a kid, you bought them, you opened up the pack, and you played penny baseball with them, where one guy would pitch and you'd hit it. Billy Williams would hit a penny, and that's where, you figure it out from there. Destroyed a lot of really, really, really good cards that I'd like to have back now, but we played with them.
But they were meant for kids. That's what they were there for.
Yeah, you also put them in the spokes of your bikes.
That was the idea.
Now, I wish I could go back knowing what I know because they would all be pristine, they'd all be in their packs, and they'd be worth a fortune.
But is that a good thing, though?
No.
Is it a good thing that we've gotten to a point where something that is made for kids, baseball cards were not made for adults, they were made for kids, except when they gave them away in cigarette packs, but that's a story for a different day. And you look at Pokemon cards, that is clearly for kids. This show's for kids. I mean, I enjoy watching the show with my kids.
Sure.
It's not something I watch on my own, but I wouldn't. There's other cartoons that I've definitely watched on my own that are meant for kids, but some of them are good, okay?
They are.
My boys got me really into this, I don't even remember what it's called, some wing feather something, I don't know, but it's awesome. It's a great show. I'm sucked in, and the rule is we don't watch next season until my oldest is done with the books, and I'm like, read, kid, read. I want to see the next episode. So I definitely have gotten sucked into some of them, but it's meant for kids.
Correct. And baseball cards were always meant for kids. The fun was you'd go to the store, and your local store, in my case, it was Gross Store on the corner. And you'd go down there on your bike and you'd buy a pack of baseball cards for a dime or a quarter or whatever they were. You'd get the gum out of there, which would break your teeth. But then you'd see what you get. There was never a thing where you'd buy the entire set. pre-wrapped.
Yeah.
Never. You just tried to build your sets by pack at a time.
You saying the gum that breaks your teeth? I'll never forget the maddest you have ever been at me as a child. I was probably 6 or 7 years old. And you have these old baseball packs that had never been opened.
Ever.
From like the 60s.
Yeah.
And I knew there was gum in there because the pack said there's gum. And I was like, I want gum. So I opened the pack and I chewed the gum, which was terrible, by the way. I mean, it was like 40-year-old gum.
It's chewing cardboard.
Yeah. 40 years later, chewing cardboard. And I was like, Dad, that gum's really bad. And the look on your face when you realized what I had done, if looks could kill.
Yes, because those packs are worth more unopened.
Yeah.
And then your mom reminded me, baseball cards are for kids, remember? Yes.
You were very upset. And rightfully so. They're your stuff, not my stuff. But I was a kid. You forgave me. Life was good.
Course.
But we have this situation with a lot of these collectibles now. And it's just, I'm just curious what it was like for you in the 1860s when all of this stuff really didn't exist.
I wish they would have had cards, and I wish I had them from the 1860s or the 1900s.
Well, 1876 was the first baseball season. Chicago Cubs were the first ever team.
They weren't all the Cubs.
They're the White Stockings.
Yeah.
Then the Colts. Then the Orphans. Now the Cubs.
Anyways, Mom and Dad rewarded me the same way you did by letting me go and buy a pack of baseball cards. Right. And the fun was going through them. And I think that's what we did with that pack you opened.
Yeah.
We went through the cards.
Ended up being a great, I mean, there wasn't really anything in there, but it was cool to go through the baseball cards. You taught me about all the players. Ended up being a really neat moment.
Yeah.
Rather than you murdering me. So, father of the year in that moment.
Look, you didn't know. You did what a kid should do. Go for the gum. And as an adult, they are for kids.
But it's so you had baseball cards as a kid. Adults didn't collect this stuff. Adults didn't read comics.
Look, true story. Your uncles, who my oldest brother is 22 years older than I was. My other brother was 11 years older than I was. So they were in the 50s.
Yeah.
They had all the mantles, the Mays, the Aarons. They had them all, the ones that you wanted. But they kept them in a shoebox. And as life went on, I wanted to find them because possession is 9/10 of the law.
Yeah.
And I went and looked and I couldn't find them. So I asked your Uncle Mark, do you have the cards? He goes, no, they're up in the attic or Mom's house. They're in a shoebox. I went, no, they're not. And he's like, what do you mean, no, they're not? I said, I went through it. I was looking for it. Couldn't find them. And we asked Mom. She goes, they were laying around. I threw them out.
I heard that story and it still surprises me.
I mean, well, it surprises me too. I had an original 45 from the Beatles' Help. It had something on there. Look, it wasn't a scratch, but she threw that out. That's what mothers did back then. If you didn't pick it up, it didn't get put away. It was gone.
Yeah, that's what I do too, and then get yelled at. I don't know. It's just I was very frustrated the other day because I went to go look for Pokemon cards because Grayson aced his test and Jack had done a really good job on his test as well. And so I wanted to go and buy them some Pokemon cards and they're nowhere to be found.
I hate the adults that will go in and they will, and I've seen it where they'll almost body block a kid away from Pokemon cards to get them themselves.
They're at 7:30 in the morning. It's your discretionary income. Obviously you spend it any way you want. But it's just getting to the point of like, come on, I can't buy Pokemon cards for my kids because you guys are here at 7:30 in the morning buying these things.
I know, it's insane.
It's absolutely ridiculous. It's bothering me a lot. And it is something new. That's what you told me. That's what I wanted to ask. And you answered the question.
We talked about this before. I've got 6 foot lockers full of baseball cards. And they go from, I've got every set from like 1968 to 2000, complete sets, which I just collected.
Yeah.
And they're there. And people go, you know what that's worth? And my answer is always only what somebody will pay for.
Right.
No idea what they're worth. Someday the price will be right or I'll get a price check on them and go, they're really worth that much? Wow.
Well, here you go.
At home. So yes, we have to get back to the point where the kids can enjoy them for what they are.
I think we're past the point. I really do.
I hope not.
I really do, with YouTube and kids opening packs and all this stuff, and it's a whole industry now that drives me nuts.
It, and I don't want to see this happen. Economies go up and down.
And the kids always have discretionary income.
Not always. I mean, I think back to mom and dad. They were depression babies. You worried about different things during that time.
It's true.
And economies have been up and down back in the mid 2000s, early 2000s when everything crashed.
Yeah.
Your priorities change.
It's true.
Somebody will have money and they'll go in, hey, it's a buyer's market. Other people are just trying to get food on their table.
Well, I hope you don't go through there. This is a really dark place that you just took this conversation. So we're going to move on.
It's true.
Speaking of things that are old, Aaron Rodgers has officially signed with the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Anybody who didn't think he was going to sign, I'm sorry, you're crazy. And I've seen national guys go, I'm shocked he signed. Really?
Well, and here's why they're shocked that he signed. And I think this is a testament to Mike McCarthy being in Pittsburgh and Aaron Rodgers really wanting to make a run at the Super Bowl. Not only did he sign 2 months earlier, well, almost a full month before he signed last year, not showing up for OTAs, only showing up in training camp, he signed and immediately went out and did a throwing session with his wide receivers.
To me, that just says he and McCarthy talked months and months ago.
Yeah.
And McCarthy's expectation was, look, go and do what you're going to do. I need you there at OTAs. I've got to put in my system. I need you to help coach these guys up.
I think that was the conversation. It's like, the system inside and out. Your receivers don't. And you guys need to get on the same page early. Because again, the reason he didn't sign with Pittsburgh is because he didn't want to go to OTAs. If you remember the Jets, not showing up for those. Right. Even the last year of the Packers, he didn't show up to any of that. This year he has, which is a huge testament to Mike McCarthy, and I think these guys could make a run.
They could. They're in a division ready to be taken. How far they'll get in the playoffs, we'll talk about in a few weeks. But
it's a team with the last hurrah. It's a bunch of aged stars trying to go at it one last time, and that can bring out a lot of good in a lot of people. And I think if they can stay healthy, this is a dangerous team.
Make no mistake, this is his last season. He'll sign a one-day contract with the Packers, retire as a Packer, and then his number will go up on the rafters where it belongs.
Is this his last year?
Yes, I think so. I think it is.
What if they make it to an AFC Championship game?
Then he'll come back for one more run.
There it is. Unless Mike McCarthy says, hey, we're going on with one of these other quarterbacks. The question is of those three quarterbacks, which one is going to be the odd one looking out? Because they have 4 quarterbacks on their roster now. I don't think it's going to be Will Howard. I don't think it's going to be a kid they drafted. I think Mason Rudolph has seen the end of his Steelers days.
Yes, he's the odd man out. I think they're looking at Will Howard. I think they've been impressed with him, except for the fact he's from Ohio State, and those quarterbacks never work out.
One should have, and one will.
Uh-huh. I'll believe that when I actually see it happening. So far, I have not.
Will Howard's the answer. I think he is. Well, even it's been cool to see Mike McCarthy working with, is it Aller, correct? Drew Aller from Penn State. It is Drew Aller from Penn State. They're ripping apart his mechanics. Like Mike McCarthy has gone in and is like, you have the arm strength. We're completely changing you, which is interesting to watch because we saw him do that with another quarterback.
And that's what I wanted to ask you, because Rodgers, being Rodgers, said something this week. He said if he would have been drafted number 1 by the 49ers, he would have had the same success or more, not even a question. That would have meant he started year 1. There's no way he has the success. And quite honestly, I think he may have been a 3-year, 4-year and out kind of quarterback.
I don't think he would have lasted as long as Alex Smith did.
Exactly.
His mechanics were not what they are now. And Mike McCarthy, I think saying that, I understand why he says it's an ego thing. And sure, you think you'd be as good. Like, look how good I was. Why wouldn't I have been this good anywhere? I don't. you have to give Mike McCarthy a lot of credit for what Aaron Rodgers turned into.
He completely changed his mechanics from what he was at Cal.
He broke him down. And seeing him do that with Drew Aller, it doesn't mean that it's going to be the next Aaron Rodgers by any stretch of the imagination. But if you do look at Mike McCarthy's career, in Green Bay, Brett Favre had some of his best statistical seasons with Mike McCarthy at the helm. You look at Aaron Rodgers, obviously we saw what happened there. Dak Prescott had his best offensive seasons under Mike McCarthy. Everywhere he goes, the quarterback gets better. I think you're going to see an outstanding year from Aaron Rodgers this year. I think he's going to be a top 10 quarterback statistically.
Well, he was last year.
He was top 15 last year. I think he's going to take him to top 10.
Okay.
And I think you're going to see one of the two quarterbacks, either Will Howard or Drew Aller, turn into at least a Pro Bowl quarterback for many years to come.
The guys that are in Pittsburgh right now, Aller and Will Howard, have got to be on their knees thanking the God above for putting Mike McCarthy there when they're there.
I think
because they're going to be different quarterbacks by the time he's done with them. He is a genius quarterback coach.
Yep.
Great offensive mind.
Yep.
Pittsburgh's going to be interesting because this is different than they've done since 1970.
It is.
An offensive coach has not been there in the modern era. So
we'll see what happens.
It's going to be a fun season. Personally, if the Packers don't go, I want the Steelers to win. I'm going to watch. They're going to hold my interest all season long for very selfish reasons.
Think they win the division?
We'll talk about that in a few weeks as we go through the divisions.
Fair enough. Looking at the schedule, it was surprising to see. Packers have 0 overseas games this year, where San Francisco has 2. Several teams with 0 overseas games. Packers were picked for 2 games. They were questioned for the Paris game against the Steelers or against, who are they playing? I don't even remember. It wasn't the Steelers. I have it right here. The Saints. It's going to be Packers versus Saints.
Saints won't give up that home game.
Or it was going to be Packers versus Lions in Germany. Lions wouldn't give up the home game. Honestly, I have a problem with division games being played overseas. I don't think it should ever happen. I'm actually really upset. Week 1 is 49ers versus Rams in Melbourne, Australia. I think it's ridiculous a division game is being played overseas there. And then you have another one with the Texans versus the Jaguars being played in London. That one I understand a little bit more. The Jaguars don't have a home next year.
Well, plus the fact that Jaguars traditionally play it 2 weeks in a row in London.
Still a division game, though.
It is.
It's a different ball game. Ravens versus Cowboys, I couldn't care less. Makes sense.
I don't have as big a problem with it for some divisions. I would never want to do it in the NFC North, Detroit and Green Bay. There's no way. You're not going to give up that kind of revenue.
How far do you think this international thing is going to come? Because for the first time, we're really starting to hear this year organizations start to complain about the international schedule. It was niche. They said, yes, we'll go with it. It's expanding, blah, 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 blah. They were fine. The issue is a lot of these teams found out when we found out that they're playing overseas.
And that's nuts. I mean, going to Melbourne, Australia for a game.
Niners found out day we found out.
That is insane.
That wasn't the one. Who was it? It was the Ravens that found out they were going to Brazil.
Mm-hmm. Hopefully the field will be better.
I hope so. I think they're learning their lesson.
I mean, Melbourne, Australia is 2 days away, essentially.
It is.
The Rams are an older team. That's going to put a real toll on them. And it could set up, how long is it going to take them to recover from that game once they get back home?
I don't know. Because it's tomorrow there right now.
Correct. And that's a long flight.
Yeah, because the international dateline, I mean, they're essentially going into a next day flying into Melbourne and then going into yesterday flying home, which is just such a mind game.
I've not been to Australia. My nephew Chad has been to Australia. He said the jet lag is insane.
I'm sure.
It takes a while to recover from.
It's the next day.
Yeah. And then you're coming back.
And it's yesterday.
It's going to be nuts. And these guys are going to be beat up when they're coming back.
It's getting to a point of, yes, expand. I just got to assume that teams are going to start to throw fits about this. And with an 18th week coming, which to me is just insane, it's going to be more international games.
the NFL is trying to make themselves a world sport, which they've done. I just think at some point you got to make it a rotating number. You don't go 4 or 5 games in Europe every year. You do 2, maybe 3.
It's never going to happen.
I
They've
know.
opened
Well,
Pandora's box.
not with this commissioner in place.
Right.
The Vikings in San Francisco in Week 11. San Francisco again has to go to Mexico City.
Well, it's their first game in Mexico City or second game in Mexico City. I can't remember. Patriots play there once? I can't remember.
I don't know. Vikings are going down there, like you pointed out. It's
Central time
zone, so they don't even lose that. It's still a long
San
flight.
Francisco has a shorter flight. It's like an hour flight, and they're going 2 hours ahead. The Vikings
1 hour ahead.
2.
Oh, that's right. West Coast. Yeah, there's mountain in between there.
Yeah, 2 hours ahead. Vikings, it's the same flight to San Francisco. Plus, they're staying in Central Time Zone. I'm not worried about them going to Mexico City.
I'll throw this out there. The air quality in Mexico City, from what I've heard, is not great.
Yeah, so is the air quality in LA isn't great. And we play games there all the time.
That's in a dome.
Okay. Because air from the outside doesn't get sucked in from the outside.
This is playing outside, and it's in altitude, because Mexico City is.
So is Denver.
Yeah, but the air in Denver is cleaner than it is in Mexico City. I'm just saying it's going to be a challenging game to go down there. Mexico City, from what I've heard, I mean, it's not a great place to play sports. We'll find out.
I know nothing about Mexico City. All I know is the Vikings are winning this one.
And I may have just said something that's completely wrong. And
you insulted Mexicans everywhere.
No, just the ones that live in Mexico City. And
you know what? Touche.
Okay, so we've mentioned a couple times here that we're going to go. We were talking about we're going to pick the divisions for Pittsburgh and what have you. We're going to go through each division, pick the final standings and the amount of games that they've won.
You can tell that you don't explain what you're talking about very often. It's impressive that you're trying.
Hush. This week we're going to pick the Packers' entire schedule.
Okay.
Game by game. And we're going to pick the entirety of the NFC North.
All their games?
No, just what the final records will be.
Okay.
And where they'll finish.
We're going game by game with the Packers.
Shush.
I'm honestly questioning it. I appreciate you trying to explain the next segment. I am proud of you. That was impressive.
You're not.
But clearly, you don't do it very often.
I don't usually jump in and go, I got this. You didn't. You let me hang out there.
I was enjoying the moment.
Oh, fine.
So we're picking all the games for the Packers.
For the Packers. You want to do that first?
And then we're picking the NFC North.
You want to walk through the final results, or do you want to do the Packers schedule first?
I say we do the Packers schedule first.
Okay, go. Week 1, Packers are going to Minnesota.
I think it's the start of Kyler Murray.
And Micah Parsons will not be back.
I was just going to say, he's not going to be back yet.
Tucker Kraft?
He'll be back. At Minnesota, it's going to be loud. I think Kyler Murray is going to really show up for that game, and I think he's going to fade later on in the season. I actually think the Packers start 0-1.
I do as well.
Okay.
Week number 2, at the Jets. This will be a revenge game from last year. I think the Packers win.
I think Packers win big on that one.
They're 1-1. The next week is a Thursday night game in Lambeau against the Falcons.
Yeah, Packers take that one.
I think they will as well. So they're 2-1. The following week they go down to Tampa. I think the Packers lose down there, so they're 2-2 for me.
I don't. It's going to be a Packer home game. It always is in Tampa Bay. The Packers also play really well in Tampa Bay. And
there'll be a lot of Packer
don't forget,
fans.
They lost. That's what I just said. It's basically a Packer home game. Thank you for listening. I lost my train of thought. Oh, Mike Evans isn't going to be there. I think it's going to be a different team. I think this is going to be the end of Todd Bowles as the head coach of the Buccaneers. I don't know how good of a year they're actually going to have. Needless to say, I am taking the Packers.
So you have
this one. I have them as 3-1.
All right. Next week is versus the Bears in Green Bay.
Packers take this one in Lambeau Field.
I think they do as well. I've got them 2-2 or
3-2.
3-2.
You need to keep track of your own record. I'm having trouble keeping track of mine.
3-2. Next week they go to The Cowboys, I think they go to 4-2.
I got 5-1 on the season so far.
The next week is Sunday game, 3:25 at Detroit. I think they lose.
I do too. 5-2 for me.
Okay. And then the following week, I'm not even going to try to come up with it. I know where I ended up at the end of the season. Next week, they've got Carolina at home. I think they win. It's another Thursday night game.
Agree. I think they'll go 6-2.
They go out to New England. I think they lose.
I had a Packer win on that one.
Really?
7-2. I don't think New England's going to be a very good team this year.
Okay. All right. Next one is at home versus Minnesota. One of the rare noon starts for the Packers, and I think they win.
I also think they win to go 9-2. I think this is where Kyler Murray starts to fade at the end of the season, and we may start seeing J.J. McCarthy.
Here's going to be an interesting game. It's not a Thanksgiving game. It's a Thanksgiving Eve game, Wednesday night in Los Angeles.
I think the Packers lose to the Rams.
I think they lose as well. Following week is one of the other rare Sunday. Well, yeah, another noon start for them. It's in New Orleans. I think they're going to go down and win that game.
I think they're going to lose that game.
Really?
9-4. I think the Saints are going to be a really good team this year.
Okay. The following week, I have them losing losing to Buffalo.
It's at home.
7-20 game.
It's at home. Sunday night game. Packers are going to win that one. 10-2 or 10-4.
Okay. Week 15 is against the Dolphins. I think they're going to win that one.
I agree.
Week 16, they go down and they play the Bears. I think they're going to beat the Bears in Chicago this year.
I don't. I think they're going to split with the Bears.
Okay. Week 17 is against Houston at home. I think they'll win that game.
Yeah, I think they're going to beat Houston, and I think they're going to beat Detroit.
I think they'll beat Detroit as well. I have them going 12-5.
I have them going. What did I say? I think I also have them going 12-5.
Okay.
12-5 or 11-6. I have them going 11-6.
Okay. Yeah, you do. You do. We talked about that before.
I don't know. You have the pad to keep the score, and you didn't keep the score.
I would have chicken scratches. Okay, the next ones. Let's talk about the Lions.
We're going through the Lions whole schedule?
No, I just want to get your record for them.
Ooh, well, I guess I have to look at their schedule then. So
I'll start then. I actually have the Lions going 12-5, and that last week will actually be part of the tiebreaker for the NFC North.
You have them going 11-5?
No, I have them going 12-5. Same as the
12-5.
Packers.
Let's see. I have the Lions winning 12 games. I think they'll win the division.
Okay. I think the Packers end up winning the division this year.
It's going to be the Lions or the Packers.
Yeah.
I mean, it depends how those splits go. I do think they'll split with the Lions. I mean, I have them going 3-3 in the division. It really wouldn't surprise me. It depends how they show up week one. I think that week one game against the Vikings is going to make or break the division for the Packers.
Well, it's going to be the first time we're going to see Gannon's defense.
Yeah.
Brian Flores is still in Minnesota, which means their defense is going to be great.
It's either going to be the same type of Packers we're used to seeing where they're in the chase for the division, or it's going to be a terrible, terrible year, and they're just going to blow everything up.
Well, look, if they're the 7th seed again, they're blowing it up.
If they lose, yeah.
Well, if they're a 7th seed again, they will lose round one in the playoffs.
I don't think they'll be a 7th seed this year. I think they're either going to be either a division winner, or they'll be the 5 or 6 seed, or they just won't make the playoffs.
Okay. Let's hope that doesn't happen. Well, or maybe. Okay, so let's go to the Bears. I think the Bears are going to take a step back. I've got them at 9-8.
I'm right there with you. I mean, they have the toughest schedule in the league right now, coming from the weakest strength of schedule in the league last year. People got to see more of Caleb Williams in Johnson's system.
Johnson's a great coach. Williams is going to have a decent year, but the team around him, I don't think so.
I think they're going to take a big step back. I think they're 8 or 9 or 9 or 8.
Okay. And this one we may disagree on. The Vikings, I have them at 6-11 because their schedule, I went through it. There aren't a lot of wins on that schedule.
they're either going to be surprisingly good because of what Flores is able to do with the defense, what Kevin O'Connell is able to do with yet another journeyman quarterback, because they have the receivers that are stacked. It's a question of running back. I think it's going to make a big situation there. They're either going to win 4 games or they're going to be a playoff team, maybe 7 seed.
No way.
I don't think there's any in between. I think they're either one of the top picks for a quarterback or they're going to be a playoff team.
I had them at 4, and I figured they'll trip over 2 more wins.
Then you have them picking top for a quarterback.
Yes, absolutely.
It could be. I mean, if you look at them, it depends how week 1 goes against the Packers. Then they're at the Bears. Tampa Bay, they could go. They're going to beat the Dolphins. I don't think they beat New Orleans.
I'm not sure against the Dolphins. I mean,
Colts, I have no idea what they're going to be. Panthers could go either way. The Falcons are definitely going to be bad. I think the Patriots are going to be worse this year. Commanders, I have no idea what they are. Jets are going to be bad. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't think they're going to do what you think they're going to do. And
I think they're going to go on a run early in the season. I really do. I could see them starting 3-0. I could see them starting 4-0.
I could also see them starting 0-4. I mean, that Jets game.
That's what I'm saying.
The Jets game is not a gimme for them.
They don't play the Jets early in the season. It's later in the season.
I know, but I'm just talking for overall wins.
They played this year?
Yeah, we played that division.
Week 17.
They're playing.
Yeah, the Packers, again, they could win that game.
Packers
we don't
and
always
Bears
play good at week 1.
Back and back to start the season.
They could win both those games, or they could lose both those games. Tampa Bay, they could win that game.
Or they can lose it.
Dolphins.
Who knows?
Saints. I mean, that could go either way. I think the Saints are going to be really good this year. I think they're a playoff team. And then you just go into a gauntlet.
Like I said, I've got them at 6-11. I just don't think they're going to be there.
I don't think there's any way they win 9 or more games or they win 4 or less games. I don't even think 6 is an option. Either they go on a run or they don't.
And they won't.
And they just blow it all up. If that happens, O'Connell's gone.
I don't think he'll be gone because I think they'll get him a quarterback. How can you get rid of him? He doesn't have any quarterbacks.
It depends how much he was involved in A, not signing Aaron Rodgers, B, drafting J.J. McCarthy, C, letting Sam Darnold and Daniel Jones walk.
Correct.
If he was involved in any of those decisions where that didn't happen, then he should immediately be walked out the building.
The GM already took the fall for those things. I mean,
biggest mistake. But if I'm the Wolves, especially since the Wolves are rumored to be selling the team soon, if he was a part of any of those decisions, because here's the thing, you're in full rebuild mode now, because now if they end up winning 4 games, Justin Jefferson's pissed.
Yes.
Their receiver room's done. You have no running back. Your offensive line is aging. Brian Flores will get a new job at some point. If it's not a head coaching job, he'll go be a defensive coordinator someplace else.
I want to hear from Viking fans, because we've said it on the show for a long time. The biggest mistake they made was not signing Aaron Rodgers. You put Aaron Rodgers on the team last year, and they are definitely a playoff team and a Super Bowl contender as far as
That, from my understanding, was a GM decision. And he was ready to move on with J.J. McCarthy.
That was a stupid decision.
It was a stupid draft pick.
Yes.
It's a guy that threw 5 times the national championship. And he's your draft pick. And number 11 overall. I mean, that kid should have been a 3rd or 4th round pick.
If that. I could have seen him being a 6th round pick. He certainly didn't deserve to be the starter for the Vikings last year when you could have gotten a Hall of Fame quarterback in Aaron Rodgers.
Yep.
Putting him on that team, I don't even want to think of how good Jefferson would have been.
Listen, if that offensive line is good enough where it gets some semblance of a running game and you can protect Kyler Murray, even for just a little bit, we've seen Kyler Murray do special things in this league. I don't blame him for what happened in Arizona. Arizona's a mess. But if he doesn't have an offensive line, everybody's career's over.
We shall see. And we've got a lot of fans from around the NFC North I want to hear what all of them think about our picks.
You let us know what you think in the comments below. And while you're down there, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you get to enjoy this show as much as we enjoy making it. You and I have had a great show. Now you got me not doing the talking thing. You and I have had a great show, but as you all know, you cannot have a conversation with your father without your dad getting the last word. So it is all you.
So this show is being recorded the week before Memorial Day. I just want to take a minute. Memorial Day is one of the most sacred holidays, or should be, in the United States. We recognize and we remember all the men and women who gave the ultimate sacrifice to keep this country free. So don't just think of it as a time you get to go to the beach and make hot dogs on the grill. If you see a serviceman, buy them their coffee or their lunch and thank them for their service. And if you see any Gold Star families, keep them all in your prayers.
Thank you, as always, so much for watching. This has been Sports Talk with Dad. See you next time.
Bye, everybody.